Hi, you guys. Okay, I'm going to get right into it. Bridgerton, Season 1, Episode 2. Okay, the episode starts off with a background story of the Duke of Hastings' birth. And we see his mother in agony trying to bring forth her child, while his father is in the next room bragging about how he need his son to come so he can have an heir to the throne. And we see Lady Danbury, and she's like, why aren't you in there with your wife? I'm going to go in there if you're not going to go. And then the Duke went inside, but he didn't help out any. He was, screaming at her to push it, to hurry up, get his baby here. She finally pushed the baby out, and the Duke is like, is it a boy? Is it a boy? Even if the doctor is like, it's a boy. The Duke then takes his baby and walks out. His wife is reaching to hold the baby, and he doesn't thank her, doesn't kiss her. He just walks out with his baby, and he goes to bragging with his friends. This is definitely brag-worthy, but he is really rude to his wife. At this point, Lady Danbury comes in, and she gives his wife moral support. And his wife is happy that she was able to bring forth a male heir. And within minutes, while the Duke is bragging about his baby boy, his wife passes away due to complications of childbirth. She didn't even get to hold her baby. Lady Whistledown has written 2 words, shock and delight. The scandalous accounts from last night's soiree at the ball are shocking and delightful indeed. The re-emerging Daphne danced twice with the Duke of Hastings. Who knew? Daphne and the Duke are promenading around for all to see, honey. Her mama is her chaperone, of course, and Lady Danbury even came along. Lady Danbury and Lady Bridgerton are convinced that their plan worked, that, they put them in the same room and they let attraction take over. Now, I do agree. I think that, like I said the last review, that Daphne and the Duke will fall right into their mama's plan, and they will eventually become attracted to each other for real. And Lady Danbury is already declaring Daphne as Duchess, saying that she will be leading society. And Lady Bridgerton said, well, I prepared her well. Meanwhile, Daphne and Simon has a scheme of their own. So Daphne is like 8 balls. The Duke said, no. Daphne said, you want our plan to succeed. The goal is for me to get married my first season. Also, I'm going to need flowers from you, expensive ones, tonight. I mean, if you was really courting me, you would buy out all the flowers in the store. The Duke said the plan wasn't for me to go directly into the lion's den. And if I was courting you for real, I wouldn't need flowers. Just 5 minutes alone with you. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. Yes, you did, Duke. And look at Daphne over here blushing. I see you. See, it's all that for me. These two are most definitely going to hook up. Daphne said 6 balls, Your Grace. And he said, very well. Also in the deal is to keep quiet about the garden incident that happened with Lord Berbrooke, because Daphne don't want her reputation ruined, honey. It can't get out that she was left alone with men. Over at the Feathertons, the girls are trying to figure out Cousin Marina's condition. The maid lady whispered to Lady Featherton, ma'am, they know. So Penelope said, Mama, Marina's condition is said to have a baby. Lady Featherton flipped out. I beg your pardon. Stop with all that talk. She asked her husband, do you hear this? And her husband said, there's no need for the hysteric. Penelope said, well, I just don't understand why she have to stay in her room. And Lady Featherton said, because her condition is catching. Eloise and Penelope links up for a walk. And Eloise is just over Daphne's dating drama. Eloise says that attending a university is an accomplishment. Not finding a husband and let him fill you up with a bunch of babies, that's not an accomplishment to her. Penelope's mind was on Marina and her condition, which she still don't understand. So she put it to Eloise like it was one of her maid ladies who was pregnant and not married. So Eloise said, how is that so? Penelope said, I don't know, I'm trying to find out. She said, well, yeah, find out so it won't happen to us. We have things to accomplish. Back at the Feathertons, Lady Featherton is briefing all the ABC siblings about the night before with Daphne and the Duke. And Daphne is sitting over there playing that piano, and she looks so anxious. I think she's anxious to see what prospects await her today and see if her scheme will work. And Eloise comes through the door with a very concerning question. How does a woman get pregnant and she's not married? And Lady Featherton asks as if Eloise just used foul language. She told Eloise that's enough. Eloise go in between where her two brothers are sitting, and she said, well, I know you guys know. Anybody going to tell me? And Colin said, have you ever been to a farm? Lady Bridgerton said, I hope you're not carriaging improper topics of conversations over there. Colin said, nah, I'm about to go out and pull out our sticks. She said, Colin Bridgerton. Colin said, no, I mean a round of fencing. And Daphne has a caller. Lady Bridgerton said, well, you already have the Duke. And Daphne said, well, now I have more. Daphne's plan is coming together. A few moments later, Anthony along with Lord Berbrooke pulls up, and honey, Daphne has all the boys in the yard. Lord Berbrooke was like, what the hell is this? Anthony said, look, you along with all the rest of these people go home. I'm going to straighten all this out and everything will be fine. Trust me. Anthony goes in, he asks his mother, what is going on here? And Lady Bridget said, I want to know, why would you mess up a beautiful morning myself? Anthony said, because she's already engaged. Lady Bridgerton said, oh my goodness, the Duke asked? Daphne said, no, and neither did I. And Anthony said, oh, the disrespect. And Daphne said, disrespect is you giving me to Lord Berbrooke. Lady Bridgerton is like, oh, hell no. Do not tell me you did that, Anthony. Lord Berbrooke is quite grostique these days. I agree with you on that, Lady Bridgerton. She said Daphne entertained a Duke. That changes everything. They promenaded this morning, and he sent both of us flowers, expensive ones. Anthony thinks this is nothing more as when Colin danced with Penelope at the ball last night. And he's like, look, the Duke is not going to marry. And if he do marry, he's not going to make her happy. Lord Berbrooke is ready and willing, and Daphne will marry him. Anthony drops the mic and he walk out. Lady Bridgerton tells Daphne not to worry. Once Lord Berbrooke sees how persistent and serious that the Duke is, Lord Berbrooke will have no other choice but to respect a man's decision. He might not respect the females, but he'll definitely respect the man. Daphne's concern is if the Duke really do not want her because, they're not supposed to really like each other. This is just a scheme they have going on. Lady B cuts her short and she's like, look, the way the Duke and you looked at each other this morning, I know there is no others but the Duke. Okay, Simon is down at the boxing ring, boxing with an old friend. And Anthony come bringing his ass in the ring. And he tells Simon, my problem with you is you're messing with my engaged sister. So Simon said, that's a problem. You got her engaged to that Berbrooke, and he's unworthy. Anthony said, well, at least he's not tricking off in brothels. I know where he been all his life, in London, opposed to you just going wherever you choose to fuck about. Anthony tells Simon, like, look, you're my best friend, and I'm not trying to offend you, but I'm sure you can understand family comes first. Okay, we get another flashback of Simon when he was a little kid doing his lesson, and his father is speaking to his teacher, and she said that Simon is doing excellent in his letters. And Simon dad is like, he has to be bloody Shakespeare with those letters if he cannot speak. He says, speak, damn it. And he grabs a hairbrush to strike Simon with it. And Simon said, duh. He started, do not hit me. His father said, oh my God, he's an imbecile, an idiot. This land was granted to us because we are extraordinary. The Hastings name cannot be attached a half-wit. Get him out of my sight. He is dead to me. This makes Simon cry. And now we see why Simon has a hole and coldness in his heart. Back at the Feathertons, everyone is out at the bar except for Penelope. And Penelope brings Marina some sweet treats. Marina tells Penelope to come have some with me. Penelope asks, how did your condition happen? Marina says, cake. Penelope asks, cake? I know you fucking lying. Marina said, our church sermons used to last for hours. One day it lasted so long I thought I had to crawl under the pew from exhaustion. George sneaked me in a bundle of biscuits and cake, which after a while included a small note. And we did this for months in. Penelope asked, where is he now? Marina said, he's fighting in Spain. But we continue to write each other. Look, Penelope asks, so your condition, it was brought about how? Marina said, love, Pen. It was love. Penelope is trying to figure out how does one get pregnant and not married. She don't want the pretty cover up. She wants someone to tell her raw. Because all this bullshit isn't making any sense. At the castle, the queen is reading Lady Whistledown paper, and someone comes in to brief her about her husband's condition. And she paid that dust and replied, it hasn't been a single compelling betrothal this season. Her guy tried to tell her something to cheer her up, I guess a little gossip. And she said, I don't care about no dish wench. I wish to be entertained. Is the king dead? He said, no. She said, well, tell him I'm occupied, honey. Over at the Bridgertons, Daphne and Lady Bridgerton is getting ready for another ball. And it's mail alert, mail from the Queen. She invited Lady Bridgerton for tea in 2 days. Next up, we see Simon and Lady Danbury getting ready to go to the ball, even though she does not like Simon's color of choice. And we get another backstory. And it's Lady Danbury. She comes in to a young Simon who's doing his lessons, and she said, you're not dead after all. I haven't seen you once in London. You're not in school, and not a word of your well-being from your father. But here you are, alive and well. She tells Simon, stand up, let me see you. And she greets Simon with a bow, my lord. And Simon says nothing. She said, oh my God, this child don't know any manners. Can you read? Check. Write. Check. Fence. Check. Well, why are you not in school? And Simon stuttered, I can't speak. Lady Bridgerton tells Simon, centuries ago when I was a kid, I would walk into a room and I would dissolve into the shadows. But a person in our position can only hide for so long. So I decided in my head, I'm going to make myself the most frightening person in the room. You can speak. I understood you clearly. I will help you overcome this slumber, but you have to promise me when you overcome this and you walk into a room, you will be attention worthy. And we can see that this played out very well for him because he is very attention worthy. Also with Lady Danbury taking care of the Duke and showing him some type of love, shouldn't that count for something? The Duke shouldn't have such a hard heart. Okay, we have finally arrived to the ball. Which ball? I do not know, honey. Everyone is there looking good. And Daphne, she links up with the Duke and she briefs him in about how many balls they have to attend again. And they have to turn up the flame on Berbrooke because he's down her damn neck. And the Duke like, yeah, I figured that. The Duke and Daphne are on the dance floor and they look so handsome. Everyone is watching and whispering and maybe even admiring the couple. Also, they are very much liking each other for them not to like each other, you know? After that dance, Berbrooke goes up to Anthony and he's pressing him about Daphne because he sees the interaction between the Duke and Daphne. And Anthony is like, just chill. So the Duke gets irritated, like, tell him the real reason you have that purple eye. He was careless with his honor. Anthony said, no, my sister would have told me. The Duke asked, would she? Anthony thought about it and then he turned to Berbrooke and said, look, this is over. And Berbrooke is mad, like, no, we had an agreement. Anthony said, you better be grateful you're not going to take another punch from yet another Bridgerton. Now get the fuck. Anthony tells, from afar, Daphne could see the commotion going on. So she goes over and meets her brother. And her brother tells her, look, the thing with Berbrooke is done. Daphne then goes over to the Duke and said, you told him? And he said, yeah, I had to. She said, no, you didn't. I can take care of myself. I can defend myself. Daphne didn't want to offend Lord Berbrooke like he wasn't shit. She's just not interested. She feels at this point that they're doing too much. And I think the Duke, he didn't mean for it to go this far, but he likes Daphne and he just doesn't know it yet. So naturally, he defended her. On the way home, Lady Danbury tells Simon, look, a woman like Daphne is rare and don't fuck it up. The Duke was walking home and Lord Berbrooke had the nerve to walk up on him talking about, you don't need Daphne, you're a Duke. You have money, connections, and standing. I need her by having you ask for her hand. So fond of her and she's so smitten of you. Unless you already had. If I would have known she was loose and the Duke cut him off, he said, stop talking. You will not speak on that lady. Impeachable honor again. You don't deserve her. Go home. Lord Berbrooke said, I heard of your father, Hastings, and if it's anybody to turn a blind eye, it would be you. The apple sure doesn't fall far from the tree. Now, why the hell this man would come for this man like that? I don't know, but he got what his grotesque face ass was asking for, a beat down. And we get another flashback, and this time it's a young boy, Simon, no more than about 9. And he's with Lady Danbury, and they're going to see Simon's father, who was the Duke at the time. Simon now can speak fluently. He can get a whole sentence out without a stutter. And his father is impressed. And as he gets up, I think Simon, he gets nervous. And this caused him to stumble a bit. His father said, you are my worst failure. Lady Danbury flipped the fuck out. She said, I beg your pardon. This is the new Duke of Hastings, and he requires whatever fatherly nature you have left in that black heart of yours. The Duke said, get out of my sight and keep your bitch mouth closed. Before they left, I guess Simon was determined to get something out. He said to his father, I wrote to you many a times to let you know that I wasn't dead. Have you received my letters? The Duke, raggedy behind, gonna say, it's bad enough that you will inherit Hastings, but to see you struggle is a great insult. You are just as useless as your mother. All this toxicity would harden one heart. All right, y'all, Lady Whistledown paper came today, and it says, what possible explanation might Miss Bridgerton have for entertaining a suit mere baron when she seems to have secured a Duke? I want to know too. I think Daphne is trying to convince herself that she doesn't like the Duke, but I think she's coming to the point where she can't deny it herself. Lady Whistledown goes on to say, let's be clear. If this bizarre behavior brings another scandal, be sure I'll uncover it. Okay, it's the day of the picnic and everyone is in attendance. Daphne, she hears whispers about what Whistledown wrote about Daphne supposed to be dating Lord Berbrooke. And Eloise links up with Penelope because Eloise needs to figure out what is going on with this pregnant woman who isn't married. Penelope said, well, girl, she said it came from love. And Eloise said, love? That doesn't make sense. And Penelope said, girl, facts. Look at my mom and dad. My mom has 3, and you're not going to tell me that came from love. But anyway, she said that she was going to elope and her love is going to get married. Eloise said, well, once she get married, her life will be over. That poor maid. I keep saying that Eloise is the modern day woman. Like, even back then, she can tell that, a woman don't necessarily need to be married to have a baby, even though she don't fully understand it. But it wasn't like, oh my goodness, what she's going to do because she's not married. She felt kind of proud for that woman to have a baby and not be married. She just trying to understand how do all of that work. But y'all tell me what y'all think. Anthony asked Daphne why didn't he tell him about the punch she gave to Berbrooke. Daphne said, well, you wouldn't believe me. You only changed your mind about Berbrooke because another man told you. Anthony says, well, I was just trying to protect. Is it that deep that you feel like you can't come to me? Daphne said, after I came to you and I let you know all my wishes and you ignore them, yes. And the Duke has arrived. Daphne lights up, tells the Duke, even if this thing with Nigel is done, we still have to keep up our rouge. I'm still in need of a husband. And I know you're not the marrying type. But have you ever considered that you're not the type that women wish to marry? The Duke said, well, if I was ever forced to take a wife, you would be the least objectable option. But never mind that, because you wish to marry for love, right? And Daphne said, of course. These two be high capping for real. The vibe is going well, and here come Lord Berbrooke. This a marching with his face black and blue. He marched over towards the family and he says, Bridgertons, I have special papers to marry Mrs. Bridgerton. Everyone was like, hell no, you don't. He tells Anthony, you should have told your sister that she shouldn't have certain attentions drawn to her when walking along with me in the dark walk at the Vauxhall Ball the other night. This scandal will wreak havoc on your whole family. Just wait until Whistledown hear about this shit. Anthony like, hold up, is that a threat? Lord Ugly gonna say, nope. Because in 3 days, I'll be married to Mrs. Bridgerton. Anthony is hot. He wants to challenge Berbrooke to a duel challenge. Lady Bridgerton said, no, it's illegal and it's horrific. Anthony said, no, I'm not going to let my sister honor be questionable. And Daphne is like, no, this is not the solution. What if he shoots first and then we lose you? He's still going to go out and run his mouth. Then we're all ruined. We'll just have to marry him. At home, Lady Bridgerton has a talk with Daphne. She explains to her, like, look, I always told you that marriage is the most important thing, and I still do believe that. But it's not only about having a partner. You'll have comfort, a house, and most importantly, you'll be able to you'll have children and you'll raise a family, and that's where you will find happiness. I promise you. Daphne said, all I wanted was a love like you and Papa had. Lady Bridgerton said, so did I. And this kind of broke my heart because they feel as though as women, they didn't have the right to choose, the right to say no, to deny a husband, that her daughter has to settle with this greasy, twice her age, ugly man. Benedict walked up on Eloise, who was out smoking a cigarette, and she says to him, suppose I want something different. Watching Daphne get ready for these balls, the dress, the suitors, it's exhausting. I believe I'm quite capable of something more, even if I'm not allowed. Benedict said, well, you're not the only one. Simon is back boxing with an old friend. And it seems that Simon's mind is on Daphne. So his friend asked about him, and he said, well, Daphne is due to be married. And his friend said, well, you're free to do whatever you want. It's tea day with the Queen, and Lady B seemed reluctant to go. I think it was because of the Queen's high expectation for Daphne. Now that Daphne has to settle for this grease ball isn't brag worthy. It's tea time, and Lady Bridgerton has joined the Queen for some tea. The Queen tells Lady Bridgerton that she once claimed Mosaic as he'll be the finest composer in Europe. And I'm rarely wrong. When I extend my favor to someone, I expect them to make good on it. So I was right. That's why the Queen summons her. You don't want Daphne with that grotesque face ass either. The Queen sends Brimley out to give her some fresh snuff. Y'all, I thought that was cocaine, but I had to look it up. It was snuff. They used to sniff it back then. They used to grind it down to a fine powder and sniff. I mean, I was about to say, we're going to get lines of coke. We're going to need some more drama and salaciousness. I thought they was turning the heat up. Oh, I digress. The Queen said he would have told all my business. I expect a great future for your daughter. A future with someone like a Duke. Lady Bridgerton, she didn't say it, but she thinking like, me too, girl. So now she have a plan put in place. She's going to invite Lord Berbrooke mother over for tea. Okay, now we have tea time with Lady Berbrooke. Berbrooke's mother. And in her opinion, her Nigel is perfect. She tells Daphne, you must try harder. He done already turned down a ton of women. Said he prizes accomplishments over beauty. Now, it don't seem like we're going to get much out of her. Lady Bridgerton said, let's not fret. The help hears everything. And Lady Berbrooke, he told it all. The Berbrooke has a baby boy with his old maid that he does not take care of, and he sent them up the road with scrap. Daphne said, he'll just deny it, and who's going to believe a bunch of women? Lady Bridgerton said, well, they will if Lady Whistledown tell them. We're going to do like women do. Gossip. We all know how gossip do. Once it's out there, it takes off. And it lands right in Lady Whistledown's lap. So she writes, you can't judge a book by its cover. But Baron Berbrooke sees his grotesque-faced ass as a metaphor for the state of affairs in his household. Don't be surprised if he get called out of town on business involving sending overdue funds to a boy and his maid mother. Anthony comes in and says, I heard about Berbrooke leaving town. I don't think that came by chance. In the future, I will be resolving matters differently. Lady Bridgerton said, or maybe not. I know society has a vision of what your role should be in this family, but I can assure you I'm more than capable. Lady Bridgerton said, I am woman and hear me roar. I birthed you. She didn't say the last part out loud, but that's what basically she's saying. Poor cousin Marina still sitting up in that room punished because she's pregnant. Eloise asked Daphne, are you frightened of marriage and children? Surely you haven't forgotten about Mama that night. You tried to hide it by singing to me, but her screams rattled the windows. She almost died mere months after Papa. Daphne said, of course I'm frightened. That night was hell. But she brought forth letter 8. Y'all know damn well I don't know that name. Daphne said, and we're all richer for that. It's true that there will be darkness, but there will be light at the end. One day you'll see. Eloise like, nah, you on some pretend shit. That's some bullshit you just tell yourself. I like this interaction between the two because as young girls, we all have that feeling. You know, we all want motherhood and go through those things to bring forth life, but we do get scared. It is scary, you know, if you never gave birth or watching someone give birth. You know, you think of all the bad things. And also with Eloise, she feels as though, why should I, just because I'm a woman, have to go through that? And naturally, because I am a woman, I do feel Daphne, you know, she feels as though she's going to step into her purpose. No matter how scary it is, she's going to be brave enough to storm the weather. It's just hard being a woman sometimes. Nope, I lied. I love being a woman. Okay, y'all, it's the night of the ball, and Daphne and the Duke is dancing on the dance floor. And she said, you know, even though Berbrooke is gone, I will not have this roost going. We have to keep this roost up, and I'm not having it going wrong because I have to find me a husband so I can have me some babies and I can have a family. The whole time she's gazing into the Duke's eyes, and the Duke is gazing in her eyes as well. The Duke said, okay, on one condition. If we want this to look real, you have to call me Simon. Daphne said, that's a perfectly fine name. And the Duke said, okay, Daphne. And y'all, her panties was wet after that. The way she looked at him, her panties was wet. In the 1800s, their panties got wet. Don't lie to me. And the Duke touched her back. Yup, they gonna be together. Why? Daphne said, I have to find me a husband so I can have some children. And the Duke said, well, let's find you a husband. They play too much. Daphne started dancing with another guest. And you can see Simon over there, you know, watching, but he has the jelly look on his face, like he jealous. Lady Danbury even asked, what's wrong with you? And this fool started to stutter. Nothing. Okay, so we get another flashback, but not too far. This has to be about 2 weeks ago when the Duke came into town to take his rightful place. His father was on his deathbed, and his father said, son, you came to take your place. He said, I may be dying, but my heart is filled with pride seeing the Duke that you have became into. The Hastings name can continue. Simon said, listen to me closely. He said, I only returned to do one thing, to make you a vow. I'll vow that I will never have children. The Hastings name will die with me. Are my words clear enough for you, Father? And his father is laying there gurgling, gasping and gurgling. Simon says, speak. Speak, you fucking monster. And we see his father pass away. And now we understand why the Duke is so gun-ho on he's not getting married. But Duke, come on now. It's only been a week or two. Men be so phony sometimes. And that's where it ends, you guys. Tell me how you like it. Tune in for the next. Bye.